you high vibe humans, Breezy here, and welcome back to another Truth Day Tuesday. I know, they were long awaited. Winter can be so harsh sometimes, but finally it's summer. So I'm outside recording a video. I apologize for all the background noise. During the school year, while I'm working in the winter time when I can't go outside, I decided to start reviewing the Goddess Provision subscription box. So if you haven't checked out the Goddess Provision subscription box videos, go and do that right now. Quickly, quickly, hurry, hurry. This Truth Day Tuesday is a special Truth Day Tuesday where I just talk about whatever's been on my mind lately. This week's question is from me. But how do I put this delicately? What do I think of white people with dreadlocks? Well, first of all, let me preface this by saying that I'm half black and half white, and I have dreadlocks. I'm Irish and I'm African American, specifically from Madagascar area. Technically I identify as biracial, but we won't get into all the specifics about that. Unless you want to ask me, which by the way, Truth Day Tuesday is a day where you, the high vibe humans, get to ask me questions and I answer them based on my truth and my experience of the world. So let me tell you what I think about white people with dreadlocks. First and foremost, before you get dreadlocks, if you are a white person watching this video, before you get dreadlocks, you should research the historical implications of these dreadlocks. You should be very aware of the fact that some black people and other people of color are going to assume right off the bat that you're culturally appropriating dreadlocks. What does it mean to culturally appropriate dreadlocks? You can go online, you can look it up for yourself, but essentially it means that black culture has claimed dreadlocks for themselves. That sounds really charged language already. This video is so hard to make. Cultural appropriation means when the dominant culture borrows elements from the minority culture or the culture that's being marginalized and use it as their own. Whereas the culture that was being dominated, the one that's being marginalized, the one that's being oppressed, that culture is actually frowned upon for using their own things. So dreadlocks can be one of those things where the dominant culture, that being white people, suppressed the black culture. And that black culture was put down for having natural hair, for having afros, for having natural locks. It was frowned upon. It was taboo almost. And that white people, when they wore dreadlocks, it's not seen as that bad. I can already see in the comments now, oh, I blah, 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 oh, blah, 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 blah. Well, you're not a black person. So there are certain societal things that people look at a black person, they automatically think stereotypes. They automatically think about racial stereotypes when they look at a black person and are less forgiving for that person's behavior. They will also look at that black person and take their behavior and attribute it to the rest of the race, to the rest of black people as a whole, and that's not fair. I'm getting off topic. Let's go back to white people having dreads. So if you're thinking about getting dreadlocks, make sure you research cultural appropriation. Make sure you fully understand what you're getting yourself into, because you don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. I personally don't think white people are appropriating dreadlocks. I think dreadlocks are a spiritual hairstyle. With that being said, number 2, you should not be getting dreadlocks for a frivolous reason. It's not just a hairstyle. It is a hairstyle, but there's more meaning, more feeling behind dreadlocks. You can think of the story from the Bible about Samson, who had really long hair. When his hair was cut off, his power was taken away, and he was stripped of his power. I believe dreadlocks hold our spiritual energy. They hold power. If nothing else, they hold memories of what we were in our past selves, of who we were maybe 10 years ago. Hair naturally knots up and gathers energy. Dreadlocks do have a historical context too. We're not talking about 200 years ago. We're talking about close to 1,000 years ago in Celtic culture, in Ayurvedic culture. There are many different cultures around the world, in Europe, in China, and Asia, that have dreadlocks. Now, I don't want a white person to run around and use this as an excuse. We have to recognize the historical context of dreadlocks in America right now, in the United States. What does that mean? Because of the racial tension that has occurred between white people and black people historically, and especially within the last 100 years. We have to acknowledge that first. We have to make sure that we come to a compassionate understanding of each other and our reasons for getting dreadlocks. The reason why I say this is because in my life, I so often have some people, some girls, boys, both the same, come up to me and have been really excited about my dreads. And they say that they want dreadlocks too. And oftentimes I ask them several times, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure that you want your hair like this? Because it's not going to come out. It's not just a hairstyle like braids where you can get braids put in and then take them out in about 2 weeks. It's not like that. And if that's what you think about dreads, you need to reanalyze why you're about to get dreadlocks. Dreadlocks are at least a 6-year commitment. Sorry about that, camera trouble, but as I was saying, dreads are not just a hairstyle. They are a lifestyle. It's not something that you just get and then you think to yourself, oh, dreadlocks are easy. I don't have to do anything to my hair. I'll just let it go. And then you expect dreads to look good. They're not going to look good. Dreads are hard work. They are a commitment. Feel connected to your dreadlocks. When I see a white person with dreads, I think that they are an ally. I think that they're a safe person. The reason why I think that is because, without going into too much detail, from a young age, I was always seen as different. I was always seen as the other person, as unusual, as weird, as different. When I saw a white person with dreadlocks, I thought that they were different, unusual, and weird as well. And I would see them as a safe person to connect with because we could be weird together. Now, that's not true for all people of color. Some people of color feel threatened by white people with dreadlocks. So if you are a white person thinking of getting dreadlocks, please be aware that this might be the case, that not all people of color will feel safe around you. So how do I feel about white people with dreadlocks? Truthfully, I don't feel positive or negative. In fact, if I had to say anything, it'd probably be more towards the positive side. I feel that everyone should be allowed to have dreadlocks. Nobody should be excluded from having dreadlocks. However, I do have 3 clauses that I stated. Number 1, make sure that you're aware of cultural appropriation and its effects that it will have on people of color around you. Number 2, dreadlocks are not just another hairstyle. Don't take them lightly. Treat them with respect. And number 3, safe spaces. White people with dreadlocks may be seen as an ally. They also might be seen as an enemy. So just being aware that this might be the case. I want to hear from you. Tell me what you think about white people with dreadlocks in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and spread love and subscribe. Truth Day Tuesday is a day where you, the high vibe humans, get to ask me questions. So post the questions in the comments below or tweet me at breezyspreadlove. Tune your third eye in next week for more high vibe content. Until next time, stay healthy, stay light, and don't give up the fight. Breezy out.